Hey, welcome to my Fusion Basics series. This is part of a series on my channel where I take just 5 minutes or less where I teach you some important stuff about Davinci Resolve. Let's take a look. So before we understand the basics of Fusion, we need to actually understand the layout. So to get into Fusion, we have a couple ways of doing it. We can come up here to our media pool, right click, and a new Fusion composition. You select the name, you put in whatever, and then you can make it whatever length you want. We'll just come into here and make this 10 seconds. You can even customize whatever frame rate it is, but it's going to default to whatever your project is set to. And we can actually double click on this and it takes us straight into the Fusion page. However, there's other ways to do it. You can drag this onto the timeline and it creates the 10-second clip that we just specified, or you don't have to do that at all. And you can just drag this Fusion composition from over here on the effects panel and just put it right here in the timeline and it defaults to 5 seconds. All right, so now that we're in Fusion, we're gonna see that we have our media out node. This is what's gonna come with every single Fusion composition that you make. So we're just gonna drag this over here to the right side. We can also middle mouse click and move around. We can select multiple things, and we can also middle mouse and then left mouse click, dragging right and then dragging left to zoom in and out. You can also do control zoom to do the same thing. If we click on the media out, then we're actually going to see some stuff happen over here in the inspector. We can see the index and we can see settings. This is where all the controls are going to end up being for your nodes. Any node you have in Fusion, it's going to have something showing up over here in the inspector. And you can toggle that on and off with this button just up here. To the right of the inspector button, we have this other button that is called shrink. We click that and it shrinks whatever's on the right side. Sometimes you have a lot of controls and it's better to have a lot more stuff happening on the right than it is to have happen in the node tree. But your node tree can also get a little busy, so it depends on whatever you need it for. We can hide the inspector and open up metadata. This opens up the same thing you've seen on either the media, the cut page, the edit page. So you've seen this before. We've talked about it in other videos. Go check those out up in the top right or left. I don't know which way I'm facing yet. This is actually the first video I'm recording. A little bit of spoilers for you. You can come down here and see more options. You can select it and it'll just show you different things. So now if we come up here next to metadata, we can see keyframes and we can see it is currently just red out. That is because it is telling us there's a problem. There's nothing going on in the composition. So let's just go ahead and drag this node. Now we can see everything is turned green. And if we want to, we can make this a little bigger. We can middle mouse click in this area. We can also do the same middle mouse click and left click, moving right and left, give us the same sort of zoom effect. You can also use control to zoom in here, just like you can in the flow. If we click on this button, it just makes this the biggest size that it can make it. If we don't want to see both nodes at the same time like we see here, which can get busy if you have a lot of different nodes, we can come up here to the 3 dots and click on show only selected tool. Let's go ahead and hide keyframes and we'll talk about Spline. This is also a very important tool that you'll be using quite often. If we go to background here, we'll even see nothing showing up. Why is that? Well, there's no keyframes. Quickly add a transform tool. We'll keyframe a spot here and we can already see displacement has a keyframe right there, and make this full size, and that just makes it so you can see your entire curve of whatever is selected. We can come over here and select them both and press a few buttons like S or F. We can toggle on and off the flow view, which is just called nodes in the easy to see buttons. We can come over here and look at clips. This shows us everything in our timeline. If we had video clips or the Fusion clips, we can see them all and actually jump between them. We can also see the effects panel, which is similar to what we see on the edit page. Templates are what you're going to see on the edit page. We can also see the addition of Fusion right here. These are the custom made nodes, either built into Fusion or given to us by other people. We can hide that again and hide effects. We can come up here to the media pool. This is just your media pool. Files, photos, and anything that you have in there. As long as it's not audio, you can drag it straight into your node tree, just like that. The left side over here also has a shrink button. Up here is your primary nodes that you're going to be grabbing from. This section here at the end is my custom one for the S shapes. We can drag any of these into your node tree. All the stuff you'll be using pretty frequently is going to be right there. You're going to see your regular controls for play, stop, reverse. This left number tells you the first frame in your composition. and this tells you the last frame in the composition. This number on the right shows you your current frame. In the flow, which we've talked about quite a few times now, we have this other button over here, which is talking about bookmarks, which is generally talking about a position on the screen. So if we have a position over here, we can add a bookmark. We can rename it to whatever we want. If we would like this position over here, we can add another bookmark, and you can click bookmark 1 and it takes you over back to where it was. You can click on bookmark 2 and it takes you back over to where you were then. In the right click menu, you can right click and options, and this is where a lot of important options are. By default, you may be seeing your navigator, which I find rather annoying because this is as small as it goes. You can right click options and show navigator off. Besides that, let's talk about these two previews. These are actually preview monitors. That's specifically what they're called in the guidebook. I don't know why. Maybe it's a composition thing. But we have two different ones because you can drag any node and pop it into any one of the two screens. We can also then click on a node and either press 1 or 2 and it will do the exact same thing. In these windows, you'll see a few options here and there for your regular scaling. You can activate a LUT, you can see other controls, bunch of really nice things that are very one-off uses. We're just going to talk quickly about how to navigate this screen. So you can scroll up and down just like you normally can, control wheel to go in and out, or your middle mouse button and left click, right or left. And then we also have middle mouse button drag to move around. But yeah, that is just about it for the Fusion page layout. In the next video, we're going to be talking all about the node basics. So how they interact a little bit and which ones to use the most often and just a few other things similar to that. So I'll catch you guys in the next one. Have a great day. See ya.